Hello, my name's Daniel and I'll be showing my brothers, Michael and Nathan, my game, which I've called DodgeThat.
Alright, grass.
So basically this is the logo. Does it look appealing enough?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Sport logo, unique design.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
Like, can you add more to the background?
I could, but that's just the base design for it so far.
Alright, cool.
Yeah. Basically the game will be set on mobile.
Yeah.
All my images are done in a top-down view. So the green indicates player, red enemy, the blue is the ball, left and right is your arrows, and then the grey is the direction that you're firing from.
Yeah, right.
And the main mechanics is pretty much swiping. So you can swipe anywhere on the screen, left or right, and you'll tap to catch and throw the ball.
Yeah.
And the front bit of the screen, that's where your character will be, and you'll be going up against several enemies, and your special ability will generally be up in the top left corner, depending what your preference is, whether you want it on the left or the right.
Cool. And, how fast will the dodgeball be able to go?
The dodgeball, well, it starts around a certain speed, which I'll get to throughout the slides.
Okay.
And after that, it sort of gets faster.
Yeah.
So the more you progress, it gets faster.
Oh, yeah, so you can
So
increase
you
the
get power.
difficulty.
Indeed. And
So
these are the basic mechanics for the dodgeball.
What does power up do?
Power up.
Yeah.
You'll soon learn.
Right.
And that's the whole point of this. But yeah, with the dodgeball, you can move, throw, or hold it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you only whilst holding towards enemy, and also will enable power up after 3 seconds.
I have holding the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, so holding on for a certain time allows your special ability to be active.
Okay.
And basically, I've created a bunch of tutorial levels. In the first one, it's basically making you stand still. You have to get hit by the ball.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the point of it. You get hit by the ball the first time, you have 3 lives, you have to get hit to lose a life. And then we got level 1, 2. So I've indicated that the pink means stop.
Yeah.
It also says it in the middle. You move left and right to avoid getting hit. The ball will slow down before coming to you. So it'll give you a short timer.
Yeah, then you have to move and then...
Indeed.
So, from a tutorial.
And level 1, 3, you have to move towards the ball. So it'll still be slow. You'll move towards the ball and it'll momentarily stop. So you can tap to catch the ball.
Yes, to learn the catch mechanics.
Generally like your basic dodgeball rules.
Yeah.
And that grey arrow specifies the only direction you can fire. You can't fire backwards, you can't fire left, you can't fire right.
Okay.
Because there's no need.
So with the throwing mechanics, since you can only throw straight, so I'm assuming you have to move your character left and right to
You'll have to
manage
talk a bit louder.
Well, with the throw mechanics, I'm assuming since you have to move your character left and right, you can only throw straight. So I'm assuming to throw around the court, you've got to move your character around and then tap and throw.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean the enemies themselves will also move around the court?
The enemies are also able to move around. But they will move around more, like they have more movability than what you do.
Nice. And, a bit of an odd question, but when you hold the ball, does that mean you can defend the ball coming from other play, like your opponent?
Well, the general gist of DodgeThat, there's only the one ball.
Oh, okay.
They
so
can catch and throw it as well.
Yeah. So if the opponent catches the ball, does that take one of your lives?
No. It doesn't.
Okay, so you can catch the ball to keep yourself alive.
So unlimited.
Yes.
Alright, great.
Pretty much.
So I do have a question about the mechanics.
Yeah.
So with the straight part, why you can go up and down with throwing the ball completely dead straight in that angle? Why is it you can't like use 2 fingers and that? Kind of go one side to go up and down, and the other to change the direction as to where you're going to throw.
Well,
yeah,
originally that was
A radial.
the original
radial
concept.
kind of thing.
So originally, the left side of the screen, ideally, swiping up and down was going left and right.
Yeah.
And then, like, tapping up or down or whatever was to catch and throw.
Mm-hmm.
But then, after several feedback and everything, realized the better option was to set up the dual mechanic to work like you just swipe on the screen, so you get the whole screen for your coverage, and you can tap anywhere on the screen for you to throw or catch.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's all about timing. But yeah, level 2-1, your movements are disabled, so you can't actually move in this one.
So just to confirm, so is this more or less like tapping and holding instead of swiping? For using the ball when it comes to like throwing.
For this one?
Yeah.
This specific level, or?
I guess when you play the game when you're throwing the ball specifically, instead of a character movement, I get you have to swipe up and down. But with using the ball, do you have to either tap and hold, or do you have or swipe when it comes to throwing?
You just tap.
Okay, so you tap to throw. Okay.
Yeah, it's just swiping and tapping mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you'll be told you need to tap to hit the still target. You can't move, neither can the enemy. You get the ball.
Yeah. So this is to specify to throw the ball.
Exactly. So level 2-1 still a part of your tutorial levels.
Yeah.
And then you got level 2-2. So you got to actually move to the set position to be able to hit your target.
Nice. Yeah.
As the arrow's indicating. So you'd actually be able to see where you have to go to, and once you move to that side, you look and throw the ball.
Right.
And then level 2-3, so enemies can now move, but you still get the ball.
Oh yeah, so you get to start.
You just got to hit the opponent to win the match.
Yeah, nice.
The enemy can't catch the ball yet.
Oh yeah, cool.
Right.
That
Yeah,
takes my
not
question.
just yet. Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that. And then it just goes on to level 3. So all your tutorial levels, they're done. Well, your main tutorial levels anyways. So you have to use the skills you have learned to defeat the enemy. The ball will still slow down for you to catch and throw the ball.
Nice.
The enemy gets to start with the ball as indicated in this image.
Okay.
So you have to try and catch it when he throws it. And then in level 4, slow balls are gone.
Oh, nice.
He still gets the ball, the enemy does, he or she, whichever one you prefer, they still get the ball, and you have to work out your timing and try to defeat the enemy.
Alright.
Without the slowness.
Cool, so the real game mechanic at this point.
Exactly. The swiping and tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you also get a timer. So with dodgeball generally, you have a set amount of time to defeat your opponent.
Yeah.
So the timer comes into play around level 5. You get to start off with 20 seconds to defeat the enemy, but you've got to keep in mind the enemy will mostly start with the ball.
Yeah.
So you rarely ever get to start with the ball.
Yeah.
Because that's the point. It's meant to be a little bit of a challenge for you to see if you can sort of
so
do
you're
it.
almost like the underdog.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then level 6, your timer drops by about 5 seconds, just to make it that little bit more difficult, but so
add a bit
you
of spice.
slowly adjust. Then you got level 7. So basically, it allows you to now use your special ability. To test it out, you get to start off with the ball.
Yeah.
You've got to go towards the enemy, and yeah, the special ability will allow you to take 2 lives away from whichever enemy is on the field. However, it will not work on a champion.
Oh, nice. Okay, so in this time frame of using the special abilities, do you have the timer from the previous tutorial?
Not at the moment. Not with this one. because
It's an
you're just using your special ability.
And just as a question, because on the character graph, the previous timer was also displayed in a similar fashion, where it was above the player character. Will all the status bars be displayed above the character, or will they displayed on another part of the screen?
Well, seeing as these images are top down, when you're looking at your phone, it'll basically be up the top, just under the timer bit.
Yeah.
So your timer thing, well, just under it, will change colors. You tap there. So you tap the actual timer, and that'll use your special.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It will adapt more around your special as well, the more enemies that come in. So level 8, you now have to go up against 2 enemies, but you got to remember that the enemies have the same amount of lives as you.
Ooh, okay.
So
So
they've got
that's
3
easy.
lives each. Yeah. And then level 9 is the last round in the basketball courts. So this is where things slowly start adjusting. Each new area will make everything even more harder.
Yeah.
So it's a difficulty exchange sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
Right.
You now get to start with the ball and test out your special ability with multiple targets. So you are now able to select which target to throw the ball at, but you've got to keep in mind that the enemy can still fight back as well.
Oh, so they can catch the ball.
Not necessarily when you use your special.
Oh, because they're not the champions. But,
Since it takes away 2 lives, you choose which one.
Ooh,
Ooh,
alright,
so you can pretty
get
much
a
choose
quick
to punish
combat
one.
advantage, and then you have to see how you go against traditionally 3 lives against 2 opponents.
Pretty
I get
much.
you, I get you.
So, well, essentially 4 lives, isn't it? Because you're taking 2 lives away from one, they've got 3 lives each.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
And this is the next area. So now there's walls. And you got to move out from behind the wall
Yep.
to get to the X. Because X marks the spot.
Yeah, so that's where you have to position yourself for the throw.
And you get the ball. So, as it says, you have now unlocked a new area, but there is something blocking you from getting your enemy. Move out of the way from the wall. The enemy will not move for the moment, but he will still try to catch and throw the ball back at you.
Right. So at this point, when you are able to stretch and move your character, how does the movement work? So does it follow your finger as you're swiping up, or do you set like a line for it to follow and then position itself where you lift, or how does that work?
Well, it'll sort of show a faint arrow where to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, on the screen it'll show a faint arrow where to go, which direction you have to go,
And so that's where you swipe up to.
and you just keep going that direction.
So if, let's say, like for example, I swipe up on the screen and do like a quick swipe up, will
Well,
the
it'd be
player
to the left
or-
in this case.
Oh yeah, sorry, but will the character's model sort of just fling off, or will it stop where I lift my finger?
Well, it'll stop where you lift your finger.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the character won't just fling off,
Oh yeah, cool.
because there will be a set border as well that you can go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if there's not a set border, then you could just keep running to one side and it'd just mess everything
Oh,
up.
okay, I was just picturing like a weird squishy mechanic where if you swipe up, it'll just bounce up and down.
No, it wouldn't bounce up and down. That'd be really awkward. But yeah, then with level 11, enemies now use the walls to hide behind. You get to start with the ball. They'll keep going back and forth to try and, well, hide themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just got to hit them. They can still catch the ball and everything as well, so
So does it still follow the same thing where you're still firing in a straight line mechanic?
yes.
Man, talk about a tight gap.
No, like when you catch the ball, if you tap in a certain spot,
You'll throw it in there.
you throw it in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
let's
it's still a
just say
straight
that
line.
You
but
don't want to peek out of the wall and just be a bugger.
Oh, nah. Nah.
Or like hide and like dash behind the corner and then pick up the ball. Throw.
Nah.
Shit, I'm being-
Well, if you hit an enemy and they don't catch the ball's gonna bounce back to you anyway, so you'll have to.
So let's say you
catch.
get hit by that ball. Would you lose it?
Yeah, on a ricochet.
You know, I never thought about that.
Because
Yeah,
like, let's just
ricochet.
say you can't catch and that ricochet hit you back.
Well, you should be able to catch it. It wouldn't be that difficult to
Oh,
catch.
let's just
yeah,
say
like,
you
we
have
all
a
make
slip of a thumb.
mistakes.
Like, it happens.
Well, you'll have plenty of time to practice in the basketball courts area.
That is
Your
true,
general
but
practice area.
can you lose health from a ricochet?
I didn't think about that. Probably.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, it'd work generally how dodgeball would, so yes. I suppose you would.
Double whammy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This one
That's a little tough.
is a bit trickier. Yeah, because the challenge
And
is
they've all got 3 lives each.
each challenge has to be different. You've got to step up.
So does this
The
one
skills.
still have a timer?
Man, that just feels like
I don't know.
more
Yeah.
than
I
one
don't think I could do that in 20 seconds.
Your timer's back. Your timer came back after testing the special.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, 30
So-
seconds on 4?
Well, it's a set amount of seconds depending how difficult the level is.
Alright, but man, don't you at least want to give him another ball? So at least that way it can be a little bit more entertaining. If I'm already dominating it.
Oh yeah, like they could throw one.
Yeah, you're already holding one, give them one.
Well, you got to remember it's a new area as well, which means the enemies move faster, the enemies throw faster, they can catch better.
Even-
Okay, so the environment's more tricky.
Exactly.
So can you also move backwards and forwards, or just up and down?
Well, left and right. You can't move backwards and forwards.
So you're that close?
No, that's a brief example. You're on one side of the wall, the enemy's on the other.
Well, I know that. It's showing on the other side of the wall, but like, you're saying I can't move back?
No.
So I can't run away?
No.
Why on earth would I be that close when they're that much distance and you can just go doof, twice as fast and clearly knock me out of the game?
I'm
Okay.
probably not Master
You see that? That's like 4 walls, 3 gaps. Hide behind the wall.
Oh, this
What
is
is this,
Space
Dark
Invaders.
Well, it may as well be in dodgeball form. Yeah, imagine how entertaining that'd be.
Yes.
Dark Souls dodgeball
Throw me
mobile.
into death, man. Throw me into death.
But yeah, as this says, there are now 4 enemies and wall placement is shifted. Going up against more enemies will make it harder and will allow your special ability to now choose between 4 when being used.
Nice.
So, as I mentioned
Yeah,
prior,
you get more abilities.
yeah, you just choose between your enemies. This one is different.
Nice.
So, basically, you use this wall, you're hiding behind this wall, waiting for him to come out, you got to strike him, so you can move all up here. And then, once you defeat him, you move forward, you're moving all up here to defeat him.
Yeah.
So what's the peaking distance before you can hit that first red one?
Because of those, if you auto run arrows, will it force
Well,
you
the
to-
wall's roughly at the halfway point.
So are you almost going to have to like throw a ball as you're being zipped around the corner?
No, because you're moving left and right.
Oh, okay. I thought as soon as you step into the arrow, it just sends you on this path, and you're just like, oh, I've got to throw midway.
No, so with the arrows, as I've wrote, auto run arrows. After defeating each enemy, your character will automatically move forward to the next enemy till all enemies on the field are eliminated.
So do you throw over the wall this time? Is this what the white arrows are indicating?
No.
Okay, it's just
So
indicating. you-
the squiggle indicates that you must defeat the enemy before continuing on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
alright, so you have the stop marker there, and you have to go down from a wall, fight the enemy, defeat them, and then that will clear the checkpoint.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So you're checkpointing now. So essentially, if you get defeated at this point and you have to retry, you retry at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, push it straight back at the start. We have to take on the first.
At your little checkpoint. Not right at the start. Because right at the start will be where the green character is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it'll put you at
The green
gold
character will
point.
be where the gold star is.
So it saves progress when you defeat the first enemy. Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah, see? Level 13, you will run through your first auto run match. Runs like the other maps with walls, but instead you move a little more forward each time and are required to move through more than one section of enemies before continuing on.
Yeah.
So there will be numerous enemies from time to time. You don't know how many enemies there's going to be till you start the level. But the point of me showing you all these slides, you get the general gist of how many enemies will be in what levels.
Alright, cool.
So yeah, there'll be 2 in this level.
So with this type of level, would that mean like one of the opponents will become a champion?
Well, yes. How the champion factor works, say you make it to your checkpoint. You get defeated by a character.
Yep.
That character becomes a champion because they've defeated you.
Oh,
Right.
Okay, so okay, so champions.
So do they start with the ball?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Alright, sweet.
Champions get to start with the ball. Either way.
Alright, so a loss factor creates a champion. Alright, that's interesting.
Mixes it up a bit. So it makes you
is there
not
like
want to
a full
lose.
point system in this game as well?
I didn't essentially think that far, but
Okay,
Yeah,
but you
there-
get but
there
we
would
have a
be.
combat premise.
Yeah.
well, eventually, at a point, there is a form of point system. But I'll explain that right at the end because I've sort of classed that as a special level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there's level 14. This one, you're learning about distant shots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Several opponents.
See how there's 5 opponents now?
Yes, yeah.
But there's more walls?
Yeah, so you got to throw close range, mid range, and long range. But you got to catch the ball as well.
This one even says, there will now be some areas which will be more distant and you'll be required to go up against several opponents.
So
Enemy gets the ball. Good
with
luck.
the enemy holding the ball, and
Mhm.
they can also move around, do they get the chance to, let's say, ricochet off the wall by accident and hit themselves? Or
Not yet. Not yet. But they do eventually.
Cool.
Same as your balls. Your balls will ricochet and everything eventually as well.
Yeah, they can be certain.
The more you progress through the game, you learn more mechanics. But you still stick with your base core mechanics, which is swiping and tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, with this one, how you would essentially defeat these enemies, you would pretty much stick around where you are. You'll move a little bit to your left.
Yeah.
But since it's top-down view, it'll more be up.
So with these types of like levels, how does the save system work? Like, do you have to start from the very start once you were defeated, or do you have a point where you just continue from the beginning of your new level, or how do you
Well, it'll essentially work like a star system.
Yep.
You know how several games have a certain point system when you take a set amount of time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so depending how quick you are, depends on how many out of 3 stars you'll get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
you
you
just
can go
pass
back
each
and-
individual challenge level. Yeah.
You can go back and replay levels.
Yeah.
And try to do it quicker. Yeah.
Exactly. And see if you can get better.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Kind of like cover rope.
But yeah, you catch the ball from that red one. Then you'd strike the top one first.
Mm-hmm.
The top front.
Yep.
Bottom front. And then you'll actually go the bottom back. Then the middle.
And then the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's because you'd have to go bounce, catch, bounce, catch, bounce, catch.
Because the one that's up the top right of this picture, he essentially won't really move very far while there's other people all in the way.
Oh, okay. So if you want to hold him in a certain spot,
Exactly.
okay. Take out.
Don't throw
Yeah.
the ball towards that direction or he'll move earlier. So yeah, you pretty much stick with that algorithm. You go the top front, bottom front,
Yeah, so almost like a zigzag.
the bottom back, middle, and top back.
Grass.
That'd be the easiest way to sort of get a higher timer score in everything. And prevent them from becoming a champion. Because you don't want that to happen. Because champions are a little bit faster. Not much faster, but the fact is they're still a little bit faster. Level 15. So you get introduced to groups of 3 now. So I was showing you groups of 4 and 2 and everything prior, but now you get introduced to groups of 3. The reason why they get introduced later is because groups of 3 actually go in formations.
Okay.
When you take out one of the 3, their formation breaks. So they split.
Alright, so it shows us some, like a team weakness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They
So I don't
essentially
know.
have a team weakness,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's why you put them in later.
Diminish for ranks.
So you put them in later because they have a team weakness.
No, because they travel in
So this,
triangle formation.
is this to
And when you
show
break
the
one,
more,
they split.
mechanics of the enemies?
Yeah.
Generally, yes. And then
So
level 16. Yes, these walls look a bit wonky.
Yeah.
But that's because you're now able to ricochet.
Oh, okay, so I want you to ricochet and fight.
This trio of enemies, they're not groups though.
Yeah, alright, so they won't have that group mechanic.
Like, they still sort of have it, as you can see. The
But they
triangle's
won't,
still sort of there.
separate once you kill one.
But the point of this one, you actually have to defeat the enemies from ricochets.
Ooh, that's cheeky.
So you don't aim at the enemies, you aim at the walls.
So I'm assuming if you throw at the enemies, they'll be able to auto catch the ball. And you've got to ricochet to bounce and hit them. Is that
Well,
sort of
if
like
you
the ideal
throw
position?
at the enemies and they catch it or whatever, you pretty much have to replay this level.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
So you've got to own
Because the
ricochet.
aim of it is to ricochet. It'll even tell you ricochet.
Oh, okay, so it gives you a hint, ricochet.
Yep.
Nice.
And you generally got to figure out, wow, how am I going to do it? How can I take out each one without the ball bouncing back from my back walls and ricocheting to hit me? Because you've got the back walls as well. So they can ricochet you.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of you are going to be aiming at each other. You're going to be aiming at the walls. That's the trick of this level.
Yeah, yeah.
It's meant to confuse you a little
Ooh,
bit.
So that puts you in a tight spot if they try to ricochet you.
Yeah, well, this is a brief example. Of course, it'd be a bit more wider space, so you can actually move. But
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
so what?
I was just curious, where's the points where you can move around in the map? Like, are you able to move to all sides or only halfway?
Only halfway? What do you mean? Well, this one's not auto run.
So,
If the arrows are indicated for auto run, they're an auto run level.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. The reason why they got introduced earlier, but now it's showing the ricochet balls, is because it's meant to essentially show you both. Anyways, back to talking about my game. So, yeah, pretty much as I described with level 16, you have to ricochet to defeat the enemies.
Yeah.
Easy.
And they can ricochet as well. So they won't be aiming the ball at you, they'll be aiming at other walls behind you.
Yeah.
Because the idea for the level, ricochet, defeat the opponent.
I like the idea of
Exactly.
even using your own walls to ricochet against the enemy too.
So,
By ricochet, I pretty much just mean bounce back.
so can you finally curve the ball now by changing the angle of it, or is it still a straight fire shot?
Still straight fire shot. It's
Tap
just
where you throw.
swipe mechanic to go left and right, and you tap in the direction where
You
the
wanna
enemy
throw.
is to throw towards them.
So let's say if you're up the top and the enemy's at the bottom, can you still tap at the bottom?
Yeah, you can still tap
Well,
towards
yes.
the bottom. Yeah.
Alright, so I thought it was like a literally dead straight shot where it only fires where the character is, and I was there so confused going, man, this is going to be really hard.
Yeah. I had to pass this in 20 seconds.
Like, damn, how am I
How am I
gonna
going to
do
do this?
This took me like 2 hours.
I'm constant retrying.
This Street Fighter mechanic sucks.
Why am I addicted?
Oh god.
Yeah, they should add gambling. And where's microtransactions?
Where's my skins?
Yeah, well, we can't add microtransactions because we have to stick to a base core mechanics.
Yeah, skins later.
Sadly.
Skins later.
Yeah, skins later.
Yeah, you can get purple skins.
Yeah, buy our background for 29 cents.
Anyways, 2 corner walls are now gone. And now there's just these random ass walls in the middle of nowhere, which you have to sort of get around to defeat the enemies, but you get to start with the ball, luckily.
So in this level, do
You
get
stay in that back point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to auto run at this point.
Right, does this have to mix like a certain amount of ricocheting as well as like hitting?
Or do you have to only ricochet in this level?
No, you don't only have to ricochet, but you use those skills in this level as well.
No. So this is a mix of everything at this point in a unique map.
And you can use
Sweet.
your specials and all that kind of stuff as well. Still.
Immediately kill the one at the bottom.
Also keep in mind about your timer. You got to remember about the timer.
Of course, that's in the back of the head.
It'd be sort of blatantly displayed in the top left or
So,
right corner, depending
With
your preference.
Each level, do they have a set amount of time per difficulty, or do you increase time every time you pass your level? How does that work?
Well, yeah, it would be a set amount of time, each difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and depending on what the level actually is, depends on how long your timer is as well.
Okay, in case you know this is going to be like a couple extra seconds longer, you'll allow that for a player.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you know that they can sort of do it.
Or work it out.
Yeah. With this one, your best option would be to click down at the middle of the bottom corner on the enemy side.
Yeah.
So then it can bounce back and hit that middle wall,
And
hit the block. It'll bounce down to the wall which is closer to you, which could potentially hit both those enemies, and it'll flick back up and
Yeah, a lot of ricochet
just
on that end.
ricochet a bunch.
I can see it working the same way against you if they catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's the only problem. Make sure they don't catch it.
Yeah, so
But the
you've got to
enemy will be
dominate.
pretty tough at this stage as well.
Exactly. Because the enemies do get stronger. But your
So
skills
you gotta
adapt
figure out
as well.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to use your skills a bit better at this point. It's level 17.
Mm.
Yeah, merely kill the one at the top, slaughter the bottom.
Exactly. Like sheep.
Sheep.
Sheep. And then level 18. So 4 enemies. One of the enemies get to start off with the ball.
Mhm.
So it'll introduce the auto moving walls.
Okay.
So you'll have to avoid them too. But you got to remember the ball can still bounce back.
Yep.
So make sure you don't throw it and then the wall moves and it
It bounces back.
bounces back and smacks you in the head.
Yeah, I thought that would be an issue.
Because that would kind of suck. So you got to time it as well. Everything's about timing in this game pretty much. Generally like dodgeball.
Now that just looks intense.
That's because it is a little more intense. But you got your auto run arrows again.
Mm-hmm.
And your stop point markers throughout the auto run arrows.
Yeah. So for stop point arrows, why is there a few more arrows when there's only
Two
enemies?
opponents.
Well, the point of this one, so you'll be introduced to the final area in this part, but you've got to keep in mind each area gets harder, and now you walk through what I call an auto run. So it's properly introducing the auto run feature now.
Yeah, so it puts you to the first point, save. Second point, combat. Third point, save. Last point, combat. Is that what you're trying to insist?
Pretty much, as you run into this level, your character will automatically run.
Yeah.
And then go to that check marker, so the stop marker,
Yeah.
behind the wall. And
That initiates
you can
the-
choose to stay there, or if you swipe to the right, you'll run to the next marker
Which initiates combat.
and go behind the bush.
Oh, okay.
Right.
The bush is. I thought that was a poison cloud.
But the problem is, if you choose to,
Self-fall poison cloud.
fully go down to that marker,
Yeah.
then that enemy will essentially be harder to sort of defeat because you're both hiding behind a bush. So you're better off staying where the first marker is,
And swiping right.
swiping a little bit, waiting for him to come out, and throwing the ball at him.
Oh, okay, so that'll teach you to show patience instead of running all the way down. You can hold in the middle, wait for a guy to expose himself, and throw
Exactly.
the ball and run to the other marker instead.
Exactly. Seeing as it's the proper start for the auto run.
Oh, yeah, it'll show you where you can
Probably
run down your certain paths to like. Oh, okay, yep. So there's certain paths that players can take. Which path will be the quickest is up to them.
Yep.
Risk and reward.
Yeah, but yeah, you're better off waiting behind the wall. He'll come out, you peep out, you throw the ball and hit him. Unless he catches it, then you go back behind the wall and you wait for him.
Yeah, wait for him to throw or peep.
Yeah, well, you go back down and you'll wait for him to throw the ball and catch.
Yeah,
And then
straight up dominate a catch it
you
right
can
away
just
and piff it back.
piff it back. Yeah, you can straight up dominate and just do that. But then after you've defeated him, you'll move up to the marker where the second wall is,
and then take on the
and take on the other guy.
Yeah, who's at this point at a long distance.
Well, since you'll be at this marker, you can only move left and right, of course. That bush will sort of stop you there, though.
Oh, yeah, so you get a form of limited movement, and that one will also be able to have a lot more maneuverability.
Or you take
Exactly.
that auto run and then just pretty much get in a close range Duke match between Mr. Red there.
Well, the point is, since it's the last check marker, you have to defeat him to progress through.
Yeah.
Because it's the last marker.
feature.
Yeah.
To continue automatically, you have to win.
Exactly.
But you have to do it in that tight space.
Yep. And then this one, so you actually will have to be more cautious because there's 3 enemies. Of course, they're all hiding behind bushes, but you can move all left and right, wait for him to peep out,
Oh, yeah, so you could
hit
have
him,
taken a close range
and then
opponent.
it'll automatically make you run to the next marker.
Oh, so it's pitting you against 3 close range opponents.
Yep.
Okay.
To mix it up a bit. So, as it says, level 20, the auto run now requires you to go up against 3 opponents rather than 2 as seen before. However, you can only hide behind the bushes now and the walls are gone. Welcome to the forest. I felt like that was just a better way to say it. Welcome to the forest.
Yeah. The tree level.
Would you rather the forest or the rice fields?
The bush level.
Yeah, I like forest.
Now, this one, so as you can see, there's brown arrows. This colour just indicates that the ball can come from any direction. So no one starts with the ball.
Oh,
The ball's randomly going to fire at some random direction.
Oh, but both opponents can move up and down to try to catch the ball or potentially even get hit by it accidentally.
Yes. And the blue bush is a moving bush. Similar to the moving walls, it will move side to side and someone will be behind it. But in this case, there is also auto run involved.
Okay, so
Once you defeat him from there, you go behind this bush.
It'll give you the moving bush, but you have to use as your defense.
Yeah, to go up against him. And then you defeat him and you finish the level. You must push through the auto run. The ball will be thrown at you this time too, but not from a player, as I described before.
So can you move and throw at the same time, or can
Yes.
you only do one?
You can move and throw at the same time as well as move and catch at the same time.
Right.
You'll just have to use 2. Yeah. That's the only problem. But yeah, as it says, level 21, good luck with this challenge. It is the start to the moving bushes. But keep in mind too, you still have your special ability which can be used. Try to make use of it here and there.
Alright, cool.
So it's reminding you gotta
Yeah, but you
use
still
that
have your
special
abilities.
ability, use
Go
it.
through it all.
Everything you've learned, use it.
Yeah.
Bounce backs, use it.
Go
Nice,
try.
order running.
Well,
So
essentially, yes. This one's a bit more challenging.
Ooh, okay. So it's almost like coming against two opponents at once, on either sort of gridlock. Is that what's going on?
Pretty much.
First one up and down.
So once you defeat the top two that are at the front,
You move to
I mean
other
the
section.
top and the bottom one from the top down view,
Yep.
you'll auto run through to one wall, defeat the next two, auto run through, and defeat the next two. So this round, you get the ball in your hands once again. You got to run a straight line through the auto run feature. However, there are 6 enemies to get past this time. Keep in mind you still have your special ability and they can also still catch the ball and try to hit you. So you got to basically remember everything.
I like how it's all timed, but it also has the chance to also like bounce back on you in case the AI suddenly gets an advantage.
Yep. So it mixes it up a bit. A little bit of RNG, so the random chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This does look complicated, yes, but it's just saying that
Those move
one bush
pretty
will
quickly.
start at the bottom, the other bush start at the top, and they'll be moving like this.
Simultaneously moving. Yep. And you'll have to come against 3 opponents. So I'm assuming move with the bush, and you have to. Well, they'll give you the auto run feature to get to the other end. Is that right?
If you notice, they're in the packs of 3.
Mm-hmm. So break one.
Break one, they
destroy
split.
the formation, and it makes it easier to fight.
Exactly. You can still ricochet too.
Oh, sweet. So you can ricochet from the edges.
Yep. Use that to your advantage. Ricochet off the bushes.
Yes. Yep. Yep. To
True
even
that.
attack it from behind.
You'd rather
bush to hit
go
them.
for the back bush on an angle to hit one of those 3 in the formation at the front.
Yeah.
Because that'll stuff up their movement because it sort of confuses them when their formation's broken.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you have to just hit them to break the formation, or kill them to break the formation? Like kill one.
Well, you defeat one to break the formation. You actually have to defeat them.
Yeah. And at this stage, do they all have a 3 lives as well?
Yep.
No.
So the ball's got to hit him 3 times
Well, there's essentially 18 lives here now.
onto your 3.
Well, your special, it can be used more than once, remember?
Yeah, you get the special abilities where
Yeah,
they
but
just
can't
get the
that
ability
only
to
be
catch
used on a
and break.
timer though, and you're already working against the clock?
No, but you get a certain amount of time per level. So he may set
Exactly.
like 2 minutes here, and you go, all right, done.
Yeah, and a 30-second super recharge.
It depends sort of
Depends.
how you use it.
Because you get multiple abilities that you can probably cast and then just dominate in like less than a minute. And you
Well,
get
it's more
done.
just the one ability that you have. Of course, it'll have a cooldown.
Oh, of course.
You have to wait for the cooldown.
So will the cooldowns be like 2-3 seconds or even 4 seconds?
Well, since you hold on to the ball for about 3 seconds
Yeah.
till you can use the special, your cooldown will be 8 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Because
it's
if it's set at
relatively
8 seconds, it's not too overpowered.
Okay, but you'll have to
Essentially.
have a form of decent time to accomplish your goals.
Certain levels, your cooldown will be a bit longer though.
Oh yeah, of course.
'Cause
And
you
those- I'm assuming
expect
those
it to be
levels will
prolonged.
have a longer time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so no walls to defend you now. Let's see how you go up against 2 lots of the trio squads moving with the moving bushes. No walls to hide yourself now. However, you can still use the bounce back technique with the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
So as I described before,
Yeah.
since you've learned that bounce back technique, you can use it with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. So,
But your core mechanic is still swiping left and right and tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's definitely instilled how to teach you how to use the more minor features.
exactly.
So
And then this is essentially your end game point. Yes,
Right.
it looks like a lot of enemies. That's because it is.
oh yeah,
It's
they
meant to
start
be
with the
hard.
ball. Cool.
Yes. There's 9 enemies.
Sweet. And you get a moving cloud for the what's
Added
it called, the
enemy
ricochet.
defense.
Yep, as well as the oh yeah, they have 2 sets of the groups of 3, which means you get formations, and then you also have 3 singles. Interesting. So, in this round, are they like normal enemies? And if obviously champion mechanics, the one that kills you
Becomes champion.
becomes a champion.
Yes.
Oh yeah, grass. And you get
And they've
Even
already
with a
got a
trio,
champion on the
if
field.
one of the trio hits you, that one becomes a champion.
Yeah.
Not the whole trio, because
but-
that would be too overpowered.
yeah, of course. But they're one. They'll get a little commander in their troop.
Yeah.
I like that. All the levels do seem possible with the map design, especially since you get a ricochet mechanic.
Mm.
So it does give you the sense that you could either
Easily
bounce around and mess up the enemy or screw yourself up, but it does add a lot of random chance, and there is a possibility
A lot of
surviving.
replayability.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
replayability, so you can even fail multiple times to just go, I hate this, or even just
The
jump
best
back in
thing
and
to
go,
do
"All right, I'm
would be going down, aim for that corner wall.
Yeah, I was just
bounce
thinking,
back
I was
at the
just thinking
bush.
that, bounce it back at the bush, smash out that formation. Imagine just sort of getting stuck into sort of smack.
What's that game where you gotta move the blocks to bounce back the ball? So it's like boom, pong.
Yeah,
Pong?
Pong.
Yeah. Essentially, you could work it like pong.
Yeah.
You hit that corner one, and if that moves down at the right time or up at the right time, it'll go ting.
Yeah, and just sort of smack them around a few times. Of
Exactly, but they can do it too.
course.
So
of the
be
ricochet
cautious.
mechanic.
Exactly.
So what happens when the ball goes out of bounds? Does it go to the opposing player? Like, let's say if you throw the ball and it goes out of bounds, it goes to the enemy, or if the enemy throws and it misses, you get the ball. What happens to the feet, like the sides that aren't ricocheted, like balled?
Well, if the ball sort of, as you said, goes out of bounds, so it'll essentially disappear, and the ball will fire in a random direction.
Oh, okay, so it's fired
Right,
out. Alright, cool.
So either you get to start off with it, or a random enemy will start off with it. Luck of the draw.
Okay, so yeah, random. And it'll just shoot out the direction of which side it picks.
Yeah. So in this one, you got to show everything you have learned in the final showdown. By combining all of your skills, my bad, and defeating a total of 9 opponents.
That's pretty cool.
But that's not the end bit just yet. That is the end game point. However, there is a special round which you can test your skills in. So basically, I figured out that this one would be pretty funny and a bit fun. The enemies will keep coming at you.
A horde mode, yeah.
You get unlimited balls.
So you just tap and fire at this point?
They can't catch. You just get unlimited balls. You got to tap and fire.
And do they get the Rick and
The more
Shane
that's there,
rounds?
the faster they are.
Do you have open
When they get
map
to
movement
you-
now, or
You lose.
do you have open map movement now, or
Or
is
do
it
you
still
can
up and
only
down?
move
No,
left
you
and
stay
right?
on the one side, moving left and right as
Yeah, as
hordes
they're
are
coming
coming.
down. Oh, yep. And I'm
Right.
assuming you get like the rapid fire. And do they also ricochet off of the?
Yep.
Alright. And do you lose the ability to catch as well?
Your ball actually has to hit like something before you get your next ball though.
Yeah, but it has to make contact. So you can't just throw a ton, like rapid fire, like tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, exactly, because that'll just be spamming. This will essentially help you practice to
Oh, you have to
Like,
understand certain
understand?
mechanics of bounce backs and constant wall practice. Yeah.
ricochets,
Yeah.
the whole lot. This will just be the first one, but essentially there'll be another where it'll have the auto run. So you're running through, they're coming from side to side, you've got to go bang, bang, bang.
Ah, yeah. And I'm assuming in a horde mode like that, like the auto run, would you first like champions almost?
Yes.
Since it's putting you around to like checkpoint areas.
Well, there would even be like a special round where you could go up against several champions.
Ah, yeah, nice.
But at the base game, of course, 24 levels and the special round.
So would you ever have like a boss level with like one super dodgeballer that's just designed to kick your ass?
That's basically the champion. When the
Yeah,
person
when
defeats
they're-
you, they become a champion.
Yeah, so losing gets harder.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, isn't like at the very end, like isn't like a boss match?
boss match.
Like
That's
an
why
end
you.
boss.
Well, that's essentially why I did the last slide.
I would just like the multiple amount of enemies.
Exactly,
Yeah,
where it
before
has
it's the horde round.
well, it has 9 enemies. Because the horde round's your special round.
Oh,
They just keep coming at you, and they get faster and
so I'm
faster.
assuming
So
in
you
this
got to
round,
start
you have
being
no
quicker.
Timer.
You have no timer.
Yeah.
So it's all about skill here.
It's head counts essentially.
Yeah, you get a highest amount of kills in a certain amount of time, kind of thing.
Exactly. Well, not a certain amount of time
Well,
because
for as
the
long as
time
you
is
can.
infinite.
Yeah.
But you can't use your special in this round either
Yeah.
because it's a special round.
Okay.
You see what I did there? Yeah.
Ah, cheeky.
Yeah, you can't use your special. But you can still throw and hit because they're
Yeah.
all one-hit kills. As long as you hit them in the head.
Alright,
Nice.
cool. So this is what will separate that special round from the others.
Exactly. And
Nice.
it will be 2 shots if you hit the chest.
So it's almost like a feeling of this is what you're like being a boss.
So
Pretty
how can
much,
you
yeah.
tell if you're hitting in the chest or the head if it's a top-down point of view?
No, the diagrams are top-down.
But the game itself won't be.
The game itself will be like over the shoulder, third person.
Ah, righto. That
Does that make more sense now?
makes a lot
That's
more
why
sense.
he's
Yeah.
describing left and
Yeah.
right rather than up and down.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you think of it?
I reckon,
I
it's a
reckon
pretty
so
cool
far
concept.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like
it'll
the
be
dodgeball
interesting to
concept.
see once you get it all made up. But yeah, I like the idea of dodgeball.
Oh, if we do get to get it all made up.
Hell yeah. So if you still feel like making like a Ben Stiller themed boss,
I won't say no.
like,
A
I
Ben
will not
Stiller
say no.
themed boss. That
Yeah,
that
so
could
You
be
may
quite
not
entertaining.
say if you get that reference, I'll be really happy.
Yeah,
I feel like this is more like a talk show than like a walkthrough, but I've walked just through it and we've showed it.
no, yeah, a little bit. Like we got the opportunity to ask questions.
Do you have any other questions about it? Like curious about any of the mechanics or?
Oh no, man, you pretty much
I think you
everything
answered
I've
all of my
wanted
immediate
to throughout it.
questions. Yeah, throughout it. So I'm pretty impressed. I'd be
So all of that was explained in the diagrams and everything, pretty much, essentially.
yeah, you ran through it with us very smoothly. I'm very happy with how you did it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
got a good idea
Nice.
of
It
what
was
your
good to be a
project's
part of
going
this.
to be.
Well, thank yous for listening to it.
Oh, definitely, man. Thank you for having
Anytime,
us.
man. Thank you.